Hey guys, what's up and good morning. I'm Yalik, and this is another mid-level Boom Beach video from my Boom Raider 42 account, HQ17 I want to say. Um, and I'm going to show you, we'll do once again, 3 hits. But before I do that, I share all of these with my task force because they like to see the strategy. So we're going to start with an attack from last night, and I thought this was a fun idea to look at the layout of this guy's base. He's parked his 3 big range towers right near the HQ, which means there's big blind spots back there. He has these 2 hot pots, which would look intimidating if I were going to take this head on, but I'm not even about to approach that. So, one problem I will say with this attack, that flare was not in the best spot. I do that. I really wanted it to be up about there, I think, would have been perfect. But for all that, you really don't have a ton of time with these smokes. And I did also clip a bunch, because that flare was so low when I shocked on the HQ, I ended up clipping a bunch of my girls. But then there was really not much left to worry about. So once again, and this always seems to happen, this guy has a stash of GB at the back of the base, and so I get back there and start grabbing that, and then I'm just going to use it to clear out anything that would be attacking me in this area, because there's certainly nothing attacking me back there. I don't have a, look at that, just barrage. And pretty much as soon as that sniper goes down, I'm good to go. Nothing can range me. Some of the girls are there, they're working on the HQ, about 4 of them, and then the rest are just wandering around up here. So we reflare them. And we can speed it up from there, because you know what's going to happen. Nothing can shoot me, and if nothing can shoot me, then I can win. I have said before, and I'll say again, it would be really great in that situation if you're attacking the HQ and nothing can shoot you, if you could just hit a speed up button. There are other games that have that feature, and it's really quite useful sometimes if you only have 1 or 2 Zookas left and you've got to sit there just pounding away on the HQ for 2 minutes. Annoying. This one, not. I like the ending on this attack. This was, I believe, a get to the side sort of attack for me. And you just got to see the way this ends. So both of these attacks were 2 boats of heavy. The next attack I switched up to 3, which doesn't sound like a huge change, but it actually made a big difference. So we get gathered up and then flare, let the heavies take the mines, smoking for the Zookas. And in here I need to remove a couple of these on the way. Probably should have tagged that mortar, but anyway, it focused on the heavies because they came out first because of the way they were smoked, so that didn't end up hurting me. And then from here, we're trying to get out of range of all of these nasty things that don't like me very much. So, clear out a few towers on the way, and then run away, basically. Get to the side. Get out of range of some things. So we still have a rocket launcher up here, but that's a lower level rocket launcher, and this is, what is this, 9, and that's a 2. So that one is going to be easier to BART down, so we're trying to get some GBE there. I've dropped critters. That flamethrower is unfortunate there. I dropped critters trying to buy myself some time, because that rocket launcher is menacing my Zookas near the HQ. Look at this stuff. I'm going to slow this down. I mean, it's me and a bunch of Zookas. I don't see a single heavy out there. And how am I not dying? It's just the critters. The critters are just saving my life from this rocket launcher. And eventually, had time gone on, A bunch of critters up there not helping out, by the way. If time had gone on, then there would have been the two cycles would have, the cycle of critters and the cycle of rocket launcher firing would have gotten to a point where the Zookas did just get obliterated. I mean, there was still a bunch of troops alive up there, but yeah, I couldn't believe it as it was happening. It's a line of Zookas standing there attacking the HQ well in range of a rocket launcher, and nothing but a few critters out there, and down a lot. It's better to be lucky than good sometimes, I guess. And that's what that was, too. Actually, that was totally luck in the sense of, like I said, those two, the critter rate and then the rocket firing rate happening to be perfectly timed for that moment of the attack to allow me to stand there and just blaze away on the HQ. And so this is this morning, and again, one more boat of heavy, and it doesn't seem like a huge deal, but I'm looking at this base and it's a little beefier. There are things I'm going to have to get through, and if I tried this with 2.5, it wasn't going to work. So, getting rid of the range towers over here, and you'll notice, now this guy has made sort of the opposite mistake most people do. A lot of people stash that GBE at the back of the base. This guy, letting the heavies get out front a little bit right there, this guy has thrown all of his GBE with not much to defend it at the front of the base, and there's a balance. His HQ is heavily defended, good for him, but all I've got up here, really, I mean, the mortar's not a concern for the heavies, and the flamethrowers, I threw down a med kit, and I got my GBE back up to, after I guarded down the range towers back here, with two rockets and one shock launcher, my GBE is precariously low. So I'm just wandering around in here and farming up, collecting. Lovely. Haven't gotten a text yet, though. We'll wait for that, because it always happens. Anyway, yeah, I'm just farming up crazy GBE, and I got back up to like 40, high 40s, almost 50 again, GBE. So you really can't let somebody do that either. Yeah, his HQ is well defended, but you got to sort of spread things around a little bit more. I mean, if he'd had maybe one of those shock launchers somewhere out here, maybe the Doom Cannon a little lower, he's wasting a bunch of the range on that Doom Cannon. All of this. Draw tool. The range of the Doom Cannon is like all, say something like that. So all of this territory falling outside of the base, so he could move that down. Let's say about 6-8 tiles, and it would still be defending the HQ, touching right up to the back wall. Yeah, those are approximate. Actually, even more. That's a lot of volume there to be missing. So he could have that Doom Cannon probably over here. And I don't know that I would have bothered to attack him. So my troops start to drop a little low. They're getting farming up tons of GBE, but I'm also using it to keep these things shocked. And unfortunately, it was, I had time to regroup, and I didn't time that well with the shock there. So things come unshocked for a bit. So now I've got a shock launcher, a rocket launcher, and a Doom Cannon facing me, and that's a bad day. So touch and go just a little bit, got up enough energy for one more shock, and then finally, had to do what I had to do and flared directly to the shock launcher with the machine gun in range. Luckily the machine gun, I wasn't quite sure how that was going to go, but luckily the machine gun stayed focused on the critters, and while they were down there, the Zookas went ahead and took out the machine gun also, and the critters took out the HQ for me. So, just that little bit of, and no heavies left at all, but that's alright. I mean, that's what the heavies are for. They are for sucking up bullets. What does it say in their description? I believe it. Bullet sponge, I want to say. Bullet sponge, right there. Yeah, exactly. So they did their job, added in, switched up my boat configuration a little bit. So my biggest boats, normally those have Zookas for damage, because I can fit more Zookas, because these boats have a capacity of 20. But in this case, I wanted more health, so I can also hold 5 heavies. That gives me, so I have the extra boat of heavies here, so that's 4 heavies added into this attack. Plus, by switching up the boat configuration, I add the heavy out front here and the heavy out front there. So normally I'd be going with 8 heavies, and in this case I'm going with 10, 14. So you see what a difference that made in the back end of the attack. So it sounds like a small change, but it really is not. And if you look, again, last thing before we go, if you look at the heavies, I'm in 14 heavies, and each one is just under 4,000 health, 3,900-ish. So 14 times 4 approximately. 12 times 4, 48, plus 8, so 56,000 damage. And that's a pretty big difference from just, if it were 8 heavies, that would be 32,000 damage that they can eat up in the course of the attack. So, heavies are wonderful things. Heavy Zooka is my favorite configuration in the game. And that's all I got for you this morning. So, pretty soon, people are starting to get really excited about this update we have coming. I'm not even going to speculate. It's just been announced. The Boombox told us we have 5 new prototype weapons coming. I can't even begin to speculate. I was in a really fun discussion yesterday about Mega Crab every month. We knew that. Oh, this is interesting. Each Mega Crab will bring a unique reward that can only be earned that month and have a unique theme. That's pretty cool. And new try boost, 12 new try boost, blah blah. They mentioned temporary gunboat abilities again, so those will be continuing, which is awesome. Will there be a defensive balance to even the playing field? We will be introducing new prototype defenses in the game somewhere. I think it was said that we were going to have 5 new ones, so that's pretty crazy, and I can't even begin to speculate what they're going to be and how they're going to change the game, because they most certainly will. Lots of fun ideas out there floating around, but that's pure speculation at this point. Anyway, hope you liked the video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. I'm Yalek. Hope you have a great day.